Now it's time to break it.
Welcome back. Hi to the Splitscreeners Podcast. This is the Movie Bookie Bookie episode. It's our movie book club. We need people to participate.
Yeah.
I want our friends. I wanted to say fans, but it came out friends. I want our friends to watch these movies.
friends.
We'll start doing those watch parties. We'll set it up
Fuck yeah.
so we can do it like
We'll live stream it.
Yeah, we should do a watch party.
So that way people can watch it with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means we have to let Gavin talk to the movie.
Every week we take turns picking a new movie to watch together, and then we review it and go over it. This week was Gavin's pick, and he picked Evil Dead 2. Do you have the synopsis?
No, because that's the one thing I didn't write down.
2. I will look it up.
It's fine. I will give you a little bit of an overview
It's
of
Evil
this
Dead
movie.
1 with more booms.
So Evil Dead 2, they had a budget of $3.5 million.
What are you doing?
That's not the synopsis.
I don't have a synopsis.
The second of 3 films in the Evil Dead series is part horror, part comedy, with Ash Williams, played by Bruce Campbell, once again battling horrifying demons at a secluded cabin in the woods. After discovering an audio tape left by a college professor that contains voices reading from the Book of the Dead. The words that I said at the beginning of the episode. I looked up the script for that, guys.
Yeah.
Ash's girlfriend Linda, Denise Bixler, becomes possessed by evil spirits that are awakened by the voices on the tape. Ash soon discovers that there is no escaping the woods.
Take us away.
Take us away, Gavin. What's your movie? Now you can hit us with some fun facts.
Okay. So we
The
watched.
budget.
So we watched Evil Dead 2. I wrote that down more as a gag. But I did,
That's a good gag. Budgets.
Budget cuts.
Budget cuts.
Cut the budget.
So we made some money. Let's see here. So mostly, Evil Dead 2 has a lot of fun little tidbits.
Okay.
It has a lot of prosthetics. Very classical 80s prosthetics for I'm fucking this up so hard right now. But I really appreciate that because it makes it, 1, a hell of a lot funnier, or 2, a hell of a lot more real, or scary, spoopy. But this is Bruce Campbell's favorite of the trilogy. He enjoyed making this even more than Army of Darkness, which I find to be ridiculous.
Preposterous.
Might have been more fun to make. Not as fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it's fun to watch. Stephen King was actually a huge fan of the original Evil Dead, and it was a big reason that the sequel was even made. He helped Raimi fund it. He helped make the connections for him so that he could actually get this funded. And holy fuck.
Pizza Papa.
Pizza Papa.
Also, I was like, see, I'm trying to keep it all together because I wrote this all so fucked up.
It's the ADHD.
It is 110%.
10%.
125.10. So it was shot in Wadesboro, North Carolina,
Nice.
which is also where The Color Purple was shot.
Great movie.
Which is
Great movie.
Raimi's earlier one.
If you have not seen Color Purple, you will cry like a bitch.
Maybe that should be on this series.
And this is,
I think it will be at some point.
and this was actually mostly shot on a built set in a gymnasium of a high school of a junior.
So they didn't
high
freeze
school.
their asses off in a cabin with no plumbing this time?
No. It was in a junior high school gymnasium. And a big reason that made Sam want to make this was his previous movie Crime Wave failing. I don't know anything about Crime Wave personally.
Never heard of it.
No one has.
Apparently it wasn't
Because it
good.
failed.
Hence the reason it failed.
And then there's also one thing in Nightmare on Elm Street. There's actually an Evil Dead Easter egg, and to pay homage to that, or to acknowledge that, Sam also Freddy Krueger's glove showed hanging above the door of the shed when he goes out there. I don't know if you remember.
I think I did see
Yeah,
that.
it was pretty. Like as a little thing because they had Evil Dead playing on a TV in Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. And originally it had a different plot entirely. Let's see here.
So originally it was going to be different than the first movie?
Yeah.
Originally, it was going to be a true sequel,
Yeah, is it...
but they had to rehash the first movie.
It was
Actually,
there was less characters.
actually, no.
unfortunately.
Actually, no. The film's plot originally would have been escaped convicts were holding Ash and Linda captive. And then, because they were searching for buried treasure, very Goonies. But I don't know...
Would have been a better movie.
Would have been dope.
And Bobby Joe's, when she died getting pulled by the trees, was originally supposed to be for a man to die, and apparently it was much more brutal where they ripped him in half. And I kind of wish they did that anyways.
Yeah.
With Bobby Joe. As awful as that sounds. Bruce Campbell improvised the entire fight against his hand. It was a first take, one shot. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Sam liked
Yes, I
it
can.
that much.
Bruce Campbell's just that good.
And the producer...
Pizza Papa.
Why they brought into the multiverse of darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Isekai!
The producers also insisted on using different colors of blood because they didn't want to get an X rating, which they did not. They got an X rating, and they actually released it unrated because they couldn't get it in theaters. And a lot of the scenes were actually deleted, and they also had different takes. Unfortunately, a lot of those takes were lost. Like, they just don't know where it was. But there's a couple ones you can see when it shows a flashback with the tape playing for the old man and Henrietta. And it shows Henrietta's eyes, the old lady, eyes turning all demon-like while the professor was reading the incantations. When Linda's head was in that vice, when he was going to kill it, she puked black blood all over him. Mm-hmm. Which is why when it cuts back to her, there's a couple scenes where she has black shit all over her face that just shows up out of nowhere. There was an extended take of the blood flood. That's what they called it, the blood flood, which is when he shoots the house. With more color. Want to know what those colors were? Want to guess?
Green.
No. Yes, and
Pink.
yellow, which sounds awful. Pus wall.
Sounds like Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. And Ash, when he was possessed, is supposed to be eating a squirrel when he runs into, which I don't know exactly how that would have played out. I kind of wish it existed. I could see the seed.
He catches squirrel, puts it to mouth, and eats.
Well, I know.
That's probably a good way to do it.
I'm aware of this, but there's also the fact that Linda's repossessed corpse, when she's dancing, I'm curious if it looks like a live squirrel until it gets in his mouth, and then it looks like a really shitty prosthetic that was just bouncing out of his mouth like he's a dog.
100%.
And that sounds hilarious.
Unless he improvised eating a real squirrel.
Yeah, he's a method actor.
I can see that.
Catch me a real squirrel. I'm gonna bite its fucking head off.
So when the wall was bleeding, the blood flood scene, Bruce Campbell was actually laying on the ground for that. That's how they made that scene. They were just dumping gallons and gallons of the blood on it. And Bruce, for some reason, was like insistent that they used real Caro corn syrup for the blood.
Yeah, it's tastier.
Yeah, and he said that he felt like he was drowning, and it made his snot red for weeks. And then he said that he just was a beacon to flies for like also weeks. Like flies are just constantly just around him.
Seems like something they should have filmed to put in the movie.
Yeah, that would have been a good scene.
Yeah, it would have been. And then
There's,
I'll
a,
have a couple more.
there's a scene in, I can't remember what the horror movie was, where a fly lands on this old woman's eyeball. That really freaks me out every time I see it.
Oh yeah, that one. It is freaky.
Yeah.
All right. So this movie, we finally hear Ash Williams' now iconic catchphrase, "Groovy." An hour and 7 minutes in 5 seconds exactly. So when he says "groovy" for the first time in the series, which is his iconic catchphrase that we now know, but before we didn't, and it was just a weird groovy line. They also nicknamed the rat when he was locked in the cellar. Apparently, that was just a random rat because you see a rat over his shoulder. His name was Senor Cajones.
Fuck yeah. Seems like a fun movie to work on.
Yeah.
That's why you had a fun time. They're just coked up.
And all the Sounds of Evil were actually Sam Raimi's voice and Orson Welles.
Orson Welles.
Yeah, like
guy
Orson,
who did
like recordings of Orson Welles.
World of War over the radio.
Yeah,
War of Worlds.
It's just him and Sam Raimi's voice like mixed together, and is technically the last movie that he appears in any capacity.
Did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, and then Zombie Henrietta was Sam Raimi's little brother, Ted Raimi, and apparently it sucked. It was sucked like the alien costume apparently sucked. Super hot, super bulky. He was constantly overheated, and the crew would have to empty out literal liters of sweat out of the bottom of the suit every day.
Gross.
Gross.
Sick.
Sweaty.
Groovy, baby.
And that's all I have for the fun facts. There was a lot more, but those are the ones that I thought were actually interesting.
Yeah.
But mostly, I want to know really what you all thought about it.
Let's start
Evil
with
Dead
Zach.
2.
This is the first time Zach's seen this movie.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this one. Out of the 3 Evil Dead movies I've now seen, I'm still ranking Evil Dead at the bottom, which probably not in the minority. Evil Dead 1 and then the remake is still my favorite. Out of
Evil
these
Dead 2 is also a cult classic.
So you go Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead.
Oh, so Evil Dead 2 is the worst.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the remake on top.
Okay.
The remake was good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It got a lot of hate when it first came out.
It did. It's not made by Raimi.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason they got a lot.
And then an upcoming sequel or upcoming reboot or like next Evil Dead movie that's coming out is also not made by Raimi.
No.
It's called Evil Dead Rise. It sounds like it's taking place in a skyscraper.
It could be good or
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Or terrible.
Terrible.
I was like, the Deadites I believe
think
fully that the Deadites are scarier when they're kind of goofy. Like when they're, they do the laughing and they're like, or they play.
I don't think they're scary either way.
Well,
but
that's true.
Well, I'm saying like fun to watch when they're goofy.
I thought they were better in the first movie.
I agree. Other than my favorite scene in Evil Dead 2 with Linda's dancing claymation body.
Oh man,
that is great.
Do you know what it reminded me of? Goro from Mortal Kombat. I was like,
Yeah, he was claymation,
but he looked
original.
better.
Well, yeah, movie animatronic. But yeah, Linda's awesome in that scene.
Yeah, and it was so long.
That's
Yeah.
what makes it beautiful.
I hope you have.
It just keeps going.
Who's editing?
Let's
Is this
see,
me?
Linda.
Oh yeah, I do have the poster
This is
for
Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah,
yes.
Nick will put Linda up there.
Sure. Absolutely.
I do have the poster for Evil Dead Rise that came out last week.
Skyrise.
It comes out April of next
Is there
year.
a trailer yet?
I haven't seen a trailer
Okay.
yet.
It's probably going to be terrible. Nick, what did you think?
I had seen this movie a long time ago when I first originally watched the trilogy. Again, I like this movie for what it is. I do agree it is the worst out of the 3. And
Easily.
I personally am not a fan of the remake.
Yeah,
No,
it was
it's
really
I'm in that camp of I don't like that. I wish that Sam Raimi had directed it.
100%.
Yeah.
I would have liked it a lot more.
Same.
So I
just a
still
big
think-
rehash with bigger budget Hollywood.
Yeah.
The only reason I was I enjoyed it a little. Like I liked the gore. It was a pretty good gore fest for what it was.
Yeah.
The thing that made me most excited was how it was how this was supposed to be the new trilogy and it's supposed to lead up into Sam Raimi making the second Army of Darkness.
Yeah, had they done that, that would have been good.
And I was ecstatic.
And it's because of all the people who didn't like it initially, and then coming back years later, it's like, you know what? It's actually a pretty good movie.
Except for me and Nick. We didn't come back and say that.
I like this movie because this is where the character of Ash Williams really starts coming into play. I think that this sets up Army of Darkness very well.
Yes.
In that fact, because if you jump straight from the first Evil Dead movie to Army of Darkness,
Makes no sense.
it doesn't make any sense
Yeah, 'cause
because
you have-
Ash Williams is such a pansy. In the
You have a
first Evil Dead.
quivering pansy, or in my words from the last time we did an Evil Dead movie Bookie, was a complete pussy.
Yeah, I mean, he was trapped under a tiny IKEA bookcase for 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
To like
where
a
I'm at
moderate
with this,
badass now.
it's my least favorite, and yet it sets a lot up for the character, for the sequel, which is my favorite.
Which is the best movie.
Because the first one, he is laughably just such a bitch.
He is.
But, you know, he's starting out. He hasn't been through everything he's been through now, to where he goes into the past and sets up Army of Darkness.
This is one of those reasons why, when you look at it, it is more of a sequel than I think a remake of the first one. First of all, you don't have the cast of characters going into it like you did in the first one, where he was going to the cabin with his friends.
Which I think is a miss.
His character, you can tell that his character, even though it's not really mentioned in Evil Dead 2, his character has grown through the actions of the first Evil Dead movie to start turning him into that badass character that we see.
That slight mental break that he needs to succeed in what Army of Darkness is.
And then what comes after, which is Axe vs. the Evil Dead.
Which is awesome.
Which, if you haven't seen it, is phenomenal.
Have you watched it all the way through?
Not all the way through. I've seen most of it.
I've seen it all the way through. I really like it. I will say the first couple seasons are a lot better than the later seasons. I think there's only like 3-4 seasons. The final season sucked a little bit. But I remember I said when we did the movie Bookie Bookie for the Evil Dead, saying that I liked Evil Dead 2 because it is like the perfect transition into Army of Darkness. And you'll get it once we finally get to Army of Darkness. But you can kind of see, because you've heard us talk about Army of Darkness, you've seen clips, you've seen that. It seems a little bit more out there than the first Evil Dead was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not...
in all the right ways.
It connects perfectly. And Evil Dead 2 is the only reason it connects so well.
After seeing both Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, and having both movies basically had the same plot, just varying differences, I'm actually really excited to see Army of Darkness and see something a little bit different.
For the sequel.
100%.
I am excited to see a good transition from 2 to Army of Darkness, but I preferred a lot of the elements of Evil Dead 1.
Yeah.
Like having the Deadites stuck in the basement and taunting them through the trapdoor. I like that you had the group of friends going to hang out, and then like it basically plays out like Cabin in the Woods or Evil Dead the remake. I liked how gruesome the tree scene was.
You're sick.
I know.
They did tone the tree down.
They did.
It was all off screen.
There are definitely things in this Evil Dead 2 that I do like. Like I like the dancing Linda. That was hilarious.
Oh, the giant demon head at the end.
Yes.
Kills me.
It's pretty funny. I do like the trees when they're moving around.
Oh, yeah.
Those looked cool.
I like how they brought the professor in and all that stuff. Like if they couldn't take in most of Evil Dead 1 and then some of the elements from Evil Dead 2 and just like melt it together.
Or had they been able to get the rights to just show the clips from the first one as the backstory.
Yeah.
And then make the true sequel they were going to make.
Because it's kind of disorientating going from Evil Dead 1 to the second one and being like, wait, can I just skip Evil Dead 1? But I don't want to because this one's actually better.
You need to watch them both. To get everything.
It's a very unique trilogy.
Yes.
Especially since the third movie is the best out of the bunch, while even
that doesn't happen very often.
No, and even having the first movie still be like, usually if the third movie is better than the first movie isn't as solid as Evil Dead 1 is. And Evil Dead 2 isn't super solid, but it's very highly rated. I think like when I was looking at stuff on there, people have it rated like an 8 to a 9 out of 10 on almost everything, which was crazy to me. I think it's a little high, but whatever.
For the Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would mean they had to put like Army of Darkness at 10.
Oh, exactly.
Which they did.
Probably.
Yeah,
which I'm not faulting you for, but I'm just a little surprised.
Yeah. IMDb is 7.7. Rotten Tomatoes is 95%. And Real Views is 4 out of 5.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't...
Metascore's a 72. 7.7.
Yeah, like...
on IMDb.
Weirdly high.
Yeah.
It's a little
Higher than I feel like
What's
it
our
deserves.
Metacritic score going to be? We should start averaging our scores. All 4 of us.
Alright. So, like I said, not as good as the first one, but I do think it is imperative to have this movie to set up Army of Darkness, which is the perfect culmination of the three movies.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that again.
Yeah, if you jump straight from Evil Dead 1 to Army of Darkness, it doesn't make any sense. So Evil Dead 2 is imperative. But it is a worse movie than Evil Dead 1. I don't remember exactly what I gave Evil Dead 1. I'm going to give Evil Dead 2... Are we going weird decimals? Because I'm going to 6.2.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a little bit higher than I'd give it. I was going to give it a solid 6. Okay. It's an enjoyable movie, but it is a boring movie somehow.
I did feel a lot of length.
It's only an hour and a half.
That was it?
Yeah, it's a short movie.
I think it might have been shorter than that. I think it's an hour 24 with credits.
Yeah. Let me see here. Evil Dead 2 is...
Hour 24.
Yep.
I will give it a solid 6 as well.
Okay. It's... Aaron? I feel like this is going to be pretty easy.
Well, just to throw that off a little, I'm going to go 5.8.
I think that averages out back
that
to
means
an
that
exact
the
6
Splitscreeners average is exactly a 6.
Which is where I feel this movie needs to be.
Yes. Oh, did I add that to our movie Bookie Bookie list yet?
I believe I added it to mine.
I need to update mine.
But yeah, this movie definitely deserves a 6 spot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The only reason I even went above 6 at the 6.2 is just because of the imperativeness of this movie for Army of Darkness.
Yeah, it's just I just don't believe it.
That is weird to me.
It is.
Yeah. But I mean, as a cult classic, it's understandable.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of fans.
See, I didn't look what they got for the first Evil Dead, and now
I think especially for people that grew up with this film and saw it in theaters if they were able to.
So almost the exact same scores.
Just to make sure.
Actually, Evil Dead has a slightly lower score at 7.4.
Does everyone have 20 movies on their Movie Bookie Bookie?
No, I have like
21.
2.
Huh?
I have 21.
Fuck!
I need to.
Gonna have to figure out what I'm missing.
Alright.
We'll do that later.
Oh, okay. I was just going to do a recap real quick, but okay.
We'll do it later because
I just
take
really
20 minutes because I need to write mine down.
Just do it in post. Have it scrolling up here, like freeze us like this, like a freeze frame.
Looking back,
And we're doing our top 10.
Looking back, I just gave Evil Dead 2 the same score as Evil Dead 1, so I need to fix that. Fix it now.
Same score, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that means Evil Dead can be a 6.5.
Change that to a 7.
There you go.
That's a solid 10. It's a solid
Yeah, I think that doing this trilogy is a lot of fun because it has been, 2 decades since I watched these movies, probably.
Yeah,
It's been a week.
First 2.
I watched it in high school, so about 10 years, about a decade for me.
Old.
But it's... I've been trying to find... Because if you've been following us for a while, or if you went back and watched our Movie Bookie Bookies, which you absolutely should, they're good.
Yeah.
I tend to
Go watch last week's RRR if you haven't caught that yet.
Or the best one yet, Blank Check.
Thank you, Zach. Great movie. If you haven't seen Blank Check,
God, I forgot we watched
check that out.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I barely remember it. Is that the movie you're missing in your list?
No. No, there's no way you forgot that one.
It's probably Thunderpants.
No, Thunderpants in there. Thunderpants in my top 10.
That's his number 1.
I try to keep the movies that I pick. I tend to go for more goofy.
Hopefully we will get
I
to
goofy
watch
more.
Army of Darkness before
Soon.
like 6 months goes by.
Right, and
yeah, because I bought that and now I have to wait.
yeah. Originally, I wanted to just pick Army of Darkness because I was like, oh, this would be fun. And then I found out you had never seen any of the movies.
Which is
This is a good way to do it. It's going to be a good
I
payoff.
say this every time we make one of these episodes, but I love that this show makes us watch movies we haven't watched before.
Or
Yeah,
watched
for
in
the
a
most-
long time.
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, you liked Brady Bunch, a very Brady movie.
That's
Very
my top
Brady.
10.
Such garbage.
But I like to keep it.
Steaming pile of trash.
What are you talking about?
But I'll have to keep this in mind. I'll have to find some other trilogies that I know aren't total ass in the payoff. Or we'll watch it backwards so we get like the first movie,
Just
the best
tell me
movie.
if I need to wait before I watch Kill Bill 1 and 2. or can I just watch them?
Have you not seen Kill Bill?
No, our first episode, or like us planning this series, I said that.
I already know what.
I own them.
I already know I'm picking after Army of Darkness, and it's not going to be a Kill Bill.
Have you been talking about this whole today already?
No, he's talked about it today.
I did talk about it today. Actually
we'll keep that as a surprise.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
That's for 6 months from now.
Do we have anything else to add?
Bruce Campbell, I love you.
Yeah, you're pretty cool.
Please,
You're awesome.
Pizza Papa, please come be a guest on our podcast.
Fuck yeah,
that'd be
That would be
amazing.
sick as fuck.
We'll talk about all these shitty movies.
We can fight our hands together.
Linda!
I forgot I was wearing glasses.
We'll just have you struggling with a 2-pound bookshelf for 5 minutes over here.
Yep, we have it.
The rest of us are fighting our hands. He's just like,
Those are
Guys,
heavier than what's in the movie. But yeah, I love Bruce Campbell. He's great.
Yeah.
he is, and yeah, if you're watching this, Bruce, please.
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 That day ever comes. Alright. So, golly, I stubbed my toe. This was Evil Dead 2. This is...
Wait, what? This was Evil Dead 2?
Yeah. So, Zach is the end of our rotation before we start over again.
Yep.
And
Hell
he
yeah.
is next.
You
So,
wanna-
Zach, what are we talking about?
Give us a little
next?
sample. Do you have a
We-
synopsis?
Because I came prepared this time. After a terrible boating accident killed her family, shy Angela Baker went to live with her eccentric Aunt Martha and her cousin Ricky. This summer, Martha decides to send them both to Camp Arwalk, a place to enjoy the great outdoors. Shortly after their arrival, a series of bizarre and violent accidents begin to claim the lives of various campers. Has a dark secret returned from the camp's past, or will an unspeakable horror end the summer season for all? From its grisly makeup effects to the truly shocking and unforgettable climax, Sleepaway Camp is no ordinary slasher film. It's a classic.
It is a cult.
I was trying to figure out what it was, and I was like,
There we go, guys.
Good old-fashioned 80s slasher film. Have any of you seen this?
No.
I haven't seen
Let me
it
see that
per
face.
se. I have seen a lot of reviews on it, so
Do
I've
you know
basically seen the movie.
Do you know the twist?
I don't remember it.
Either.
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just saying, like,
Go in blind.
that's why I said per se.
It's like
can't
Malignant. You can't know the twist.
So, the reason I know about this movie, is me and my wife went to a used video store, and picked out 2 or 3 random movies that we hadn't watched before, and this was hers. Got back, was talking to some people on TikTok, and they're like, "That movie's a cult classic. You need to watch that, and let us know what you think about it." So I'm like, all right. So I made a reaction afterwards, and oh my god.
Oh my
Now I
god.
haven't seen this. I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, so it's gonna be fun.
I can't wait
again.
to watch it again.
See
my
how it
God.
goes up.
Oh my god.
So for those
The effects.
that are watching
The
this
effects budget.
the comment section is open. Let us know what you thought of Evil Dead 2. Tell Zach how excited you are for him to finally watch Army of Darkness, even though he's owned it for 3 or 4 weeks now.
Oh, yeah.
And
The
it's gonna be a
Shout
while
Factory
before we
Steelbook,
watch
or Screen Factory Steelbook.
And if you want to watch Sleepaway Camp, that is going to be our throw out to everybody. Watch Sleepaway Camp and then come back and watch our review next
I
week.
will say, after buying this movie, I wanted to try to get physical copies of the sequels. They are expensive and out of print. Like,
I
for the
believe it.
slip cover, the cardboard piece that goes over the case, $140 on eBay. Just the cardboard case.
Yeah, no.
We collectors are weird people.
Yeah, there you are.
See, especially, they probably printed over 20 of those, so I'm surprised more aren't in circulation.
I know. Well, see, that's where they get you. They did print a lot more, and I bet
They're in a
3 people.
warehouse somewhere.
There's
Just-
a landfill.
Oh no! I was saying someone just got all of them for cheap and then just incinerated all but 20, and then released them into the wild.
So Sleepaway Camp next week. I'm excited to rewatch this. I've forgotten 99% of this movie. I remember the important part. So that's about it.
I consider myself somebody who has, I like to think that I've seen a lot of movies. So whenever a movie comes up that I haven't seen, and I get really excited. So I'm very excited.
It'll be good.
I'm excited for this.
We're gonna have a good time.
I do have. If we do like this one, I do have the first sequel,
which I've never seen
digitally. So
They made like 10 of the damn things.
I know.
I think there's 3. But I've not seen either of the sequels.
I know the third one takes place in a completely different camp.
Oh no.
Wide Awake Camp.
Wide Awake.
Awake here, Cam.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. That'll be fun next week. So
Hell yeah.
tune in for that.
Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. If you haven't, this will be the last episode that comes out this week. Go back and watch all of our other episodes this week. We had big movie news. We all watched some new movies this week.
Yeah.
Watch us play some God of War in the video games episode. Watch us talk about Crown Jewel and NFL Week 9 and 10.
Yep.
Plus, we did a top 10 isekai list, so check that out.
It's a doozy.
Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We are back. We have a schedule. We are trying to really
Stick to that.
Yeah, we're trying to stick to that. We're trying to go hard.
We're excited because we had one episode that went over 100 views.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody that watched
Yes.
our review. That was a very fun episode to record.
Yeah, it was.
I think somebody commented on that video and said this was a great review, and I just responded. It was a great review because this movie was so good. It's so easy to review our.
Yes.
So go back and check that one out. Check out all of our content. I think we're over 100 videos at this point.
Yes.
And
We just hit 100 episodes last weekend.
the sports episode.
The sports episode.
Nice. That's awesome. So
That is a milestone.
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching. We're out of here. It is time to
Split!
Winner!